Hi guys, this is Robin, also known as Dark One, run the Nexus websites. Just thought I'd do another blog update. It's been 2.5 months since I did the last blog update, and this blog is going to take on the form of a sort of State of the Union type address where we talk about what's happened in the community recently, what the Nexus has been doing, what's been happening, how we've coped, and what we're going to be up to in the future. Before I start, I should note that this is, just like before, this is a completely no-frills video, not going to have any flashy footage, no preamble, no logo or anything like that. It's just me going to be talking for hopefully less time than last time, because I'm aware the last one went on for 30 minutes, so hopefully about 20 minutes this time. I've taken a few notes this time that I can check up on. My camera also isn't the best camera, so it goes out of focus every now and again. You're just going to have to deal with it. The audio is the important thing, just listening to me talking. So basically, since 2.5 months ago, since the last time we spoke, probably the biggest thing that's happened recently is Steam Workshop coming out, and it didn't take anyone by surprise because the way they introduced it, we knew it was all coming, and it was good that they were able to do that. As far as what I'm going to be talking about with Steam Workshop, I'm not going to be doing any sort of comparisons or slagging off or anything like that. I do try extremely hard not to be that person who comes on and says all the pros and cons between the two, or tries to slag off a competitor or anything of the same. I don't do it for any sites in the community, and I really try hard not to, unless people really piss me off. So I'm not going to be doing that in this video. There's plenty of other comparison threads and goodness knows what else. But as far as I'm concerned, there's definitely room for more than one site, and the Nexus definitely can't fill the entire gap, so I'm happy to see another person or another company, a big company, come into the fray and offer their support for the modding community. So I'll try and just stick to the facts ideally, and talk about how it's affected the Nexus and what we're going to be doing in regards to the future, really. As far as how Steam Workshop has affected the Nexus, it's hard to say, but it hasn't affected our traffic. That's the easiest way I can put it. Once the creation kit got released, our traffic increased by about 25%, 30%. It hasn't gone down yet, so it's not like it's taken. A lot of people were worried, stroke hopeful, depending on the type of person you are, whether you like the Nexus or not. They were hopeful, or they were worried that the Steam Workshop was going to take away from the Nexus community, and it doesn't seem to have done that at all. So I'm pleased to report that anyway. Some people might not be happy, but so that's one good thing that's come out of it, which means that we can, well, we would have carried on anyway, but we can carry on going as we were before, and really push on with our plans. The positive, there's been some good positives that have come out of it, to be honest. It does seem like Bethesda and Valve are working on fixing some of the issues that the creation kit has produced, some of the bugs in the creation kit. The biggest bug that has not been fixed since, I think it's actually since Oblivion, so 2006, is the nav mesh issue. Not many people really, it doesn't really get spoken about much, but the nav mesh issue has been a massive bug for quite a long time. It involves custom cells and the way that NPCs interact with the custom cells, basically. And it's been a very big bug that Bethesda have never really acknowledged, let alone dealt with, and they have recently come out and said they are going to deal with it at last. And this has been a bug that's come from Oblivion, Fallout 3, New Vegas, and has been in Skyrim, and now they're going to finally fix it. So you might like to think that maybe the Steam Workshop side of things has helped push them to fix some of these bugs that have been around for goodness knows how long. So that's a good positive that's come out of it. As far as Steam Workshop is concerned, it's quite interesting to go back and watch my last video and see what has become a reality and what I got right, what I got wrong. Most of it I actually like to think I got relatively right, and some of it I got wrong, I'll be happy to admit, but it was all in conjecture anyway, and I said it was going to be conjecture. It's good to see that they haven't tried to weasel anyone out of the market. It's not really a market, but you know what I'm trying to say. and it's good that they've been working with the mod authors as well. But how can I phrase it? But there's still some issues that need to get resolved, and I hope they do manage it. They seem to be actually quite on the ball, and it's good to see Valve are a lot more on the ball than I know that BioWare weren't with the Dragon Age community, which caused quite a bit of problems. So it's good to see that they're quick to acknowledge the problems and work to fix them. It's been really good. There's some issues with the load order side of things and various other things, but I'm pretty confident that they're going to get around to doing that eventually. It's still really early days. I don't appreciate people comparing Steam Workshop to 10 years ago when I first started the Nexus Sites, or how they were called then. They were Morrowind Chronicles, because it's not really the same thing. A 15-year-old in his bedroom running a hobby site isn't the same as a multi-billion-dollar company starting a new service that pretty much is exactly the same as some of the other services already out there. It's not the same thing. They've had a lot to work with, and it's been really good to see what they can come up with, and it's been really good to see how the community have responded, because the community have responded by using both sites, and it's been really good to see. I haven't had to tell people to do that because they have been doing it themselves. You'll get some Nexus versus Steam threads every now and again, but it's generally, it's not sinister, and it's good to see, because there's no reason why both sites can't be used, and there's no reason why both sites shouldn't be used. You should be using both sites. You should be using as many sites as possible, ideally, but I understand that from the mod author point of view, it's a lot easier to only manage 1 or 2 pages than manage 6 or 7 pages. But my recommendation has always been to use the Nexus and Tez Alliance and Pez and now Steam Workshop, and I'll recommend it to anyone, because as far as I'm concerned, with Steam Workshop, it's a bit of it's a place where new modders, both authors and users, can cut their teeth into modding. They've never really tried modding, they might not really even bothered looking before, and now with how easy the Steam Workshop integration is, it provides them an area to cut their teeth, but it doesn't really, it just scratches the surface of modding. And so the thinking is that once people have mastered the simple aspect of Steam Workshop, they might start looking for more complex stuff or start delving into modding themselves. And while the Steam Workshop community facilitates downloading and uploading of files, it doesn't really have a modding community to speak of. It doesn't foster the mod authors like the Nexus or Tez Alliance would, or the official forums would. So that's an area that they haven't really focused on. I'm not sure if they're going to, but it's worked out pretty well. So yeah, so it's really just it's like a rookie's modders location, and it's worked quite well because it's brought a lot of publicity to modding, and the hope is that people will learn the ropes from Steam Workshop and then move on to other services like the Nexus, like Tez Alliance, and so on and so forth, and start using the Nexus Mod Manager and Rybash, Bane, Boss, and everything in between, and start really getting into it. And so it can only mean good things, and I can't stress that enough. I'm not just saying that because I'm on camera, I've been saying it on the sites and on the forums and everything in between. So Steam Workshop, not a problem. It would be good if people could stop white knighting the Nexus and start trying to form a rivalry between the two sites, because there doesn't need to be a rivalry between the two sites. Just so if you do come across people bashing the Nexus, it's just part and parcel of how things operate. When you're a big site, some people are going to like it, others aren't, and normally the ones who don't like it are more vocal than the ones who do, because the ones who do are enjoying it, and the ones who don't are happy to bash the people that do. It's just the way of things, it's just how we are, it's human nature. So if you do come across these sort of threads, I'd recommend just trying to stick to the facts, and the facts are that our traffic hasn't deviated. Mod authors are using both services, and that's good for everyone, and that's what you should be sharing. So that's all I'm really going to talk about on Steam Workshop. There's no point going into any more detail. There's they've got a few fixes that are coming out in the next patch, which looks like it's going to sort out some of the bugs, and it's good to see that they're getting around to doing things pretty quickly. So that's cool. So what I'll do now is I'll talk about what we're going to be up to and what we have been up to. I've seen quite a few threads where they've said that it's good that we've been given some competition. Competition used in the loose use of the word, and it's not entirely true. It's not like we've just been sat on our laurels doing absolutely nothing until Steam Workshop came along. As far from looking at the sites, we haven't added much new features recently, and that is just because we've been working for the past 10 months. It's literally been 10 months now. I think it started in last May or June. We've been working for 10 months now on completely recoding, gutting all my work that I did on the Nexus sites, the code and everything in between, and reworking it into proper object-oriented programming and everything in between. And the reason for that, there's a very good reason that it needs to be done. Like my code, I've said it because there's how many times I'm going to go into it now, but it was absolutely terrible. And if I'm going to get professional coders to come along and start making these sites absolutely awesome, they need to start from a groundwork, a foundation that's solid. And my sites didn't have a groundwork, they didn't have a foundation. It's a bit like building your house on the sandy land. You don't build a house on sandy land, you put a solid brick foundation down or a cement foundation down and build your house on that. And that's what the past 10 months of work has been all about. It's been about rebuilding everything so that for the future things get a lot easier. That is due to be finished. It was due to be finished earlier on this month, but it never works out the way you want it to be to work out. So that's due to be finished hopefully by the end of this month, and then we've got to do some testing, make sure it does actually still all work. From your point of view, from a user point of view, the functionality isn't going to be changing straight away. It's going to hopefully be exactly the same, but you're going to see some big stability improvements. The servers are going to be so much more stable, hopefully so much less downtime and problems like that. That's all stemming from my work that isn't built for dealing with 7 or 8 million page views a day, which is what we're getting at the moment. And just to do the maths on that, if you divide 8 million by 86,600, which is how many seconds are in a day, you'll see how many page views we're getting a second, but it's about something between 70 or 80 page views a second. So it's just crazy traffic. Once that's done, we're going to continue to be that site that pumps out new features and new functionality very quickly. We won't. It does mean that we'll reduce the testing time on the features, but you guys have always been really good at testing things for us. So you report a problem, we fix it within an hour, and that's just how it's worked. And it's worked really well because you'd rather we did that than we waited a week and tested it ourselves, and then you found there were bugs in it anyway. So you're the best testers for the program, and so that's how we're going to keep it. The hope is as soon as this 10-month project's been wrapped up and done and stabilised and fine, we're going to be rolling out new features literally bi-weekly, 1 or 2, if not more, a week. And that's going to be really awesome, and you're going to really see the benefits of that. So it's been really hard for me to sit on my hands and just not... I have no control over the coding things. I'm not doing any of the coding anymore at all. So it's been really hard for me to sit there and just think up all these ideas. I've got all these ideas in my head of what I want done. I was reading the forums daily for new ideas, and it's been hard to not implement these ideas because I can't, because I'm on a feature lock. I can't add new features because we've got to wait till the new code's done. So that's where things are at the moment. But once that's done, it's going to be really great from every aspect. It's going to be really good. So we're going to continue to remain as flexible and fast to adapt as possible. The focus at the moment this year is really consolidating our position. So we've got a site that hosts mods and allows people to download mods, and we're going to stick with that. We're not going to diversify and start going to stupid things like game reviews or anything like that. We're just going to stick to what we know and keep what we're doing. There's no reason not to. And make every feature better, and then improve on those features and add new features as well. That's the aim for the year. That's all we're going to do. So with that done, our general focus will then be on new features, and I'll share a few of the new features with you. I've got them bulleted down. I'm literally looking at the screen underneath the camera. That's why I keep looking up and down. And I'm just going to share a few of the ideas that we've had, a few of the things that we hope to roll out pretty soon after the code update is done. our focus, from reading the forums, we have I'd say three main points of contention with the Nexus sites, points that people think can either be improved or changed. One is the ability to for users to only find content that they actually want to see. An example being, if you're looking for armor, you might not be the type of person who likes the skimpy armor clothes, so like your chainmail bikinis and things like that. And it's quite hard when there's 2,000 mods in the armor category to find the armor that you care about, and remove or segment away all the chainmail bikinis and the skimpy clothes and things like that, because they're all in the same category. And I'm aware of that. That's a big issue. So our focus really is going to be on trying to allow you to customize your view of the site to only see the content that you actually care about. So we have a lot less people whining like little bitches about the chainmail bikini stuff and all the stuff in between, because you won't see it. And if you do see it, it's because you've chosen to see it and you've got no reason to complain then. And then I can just be like, well, I don't give a crap. You can shut up, because you can change that yourself. So that's one big thing that we're going to really focus on. Because it's not that these mods aren't a problem, and lots of people do enjoy them, but I understand that lots of people don't enjoy them as well, and it's just about keeping... people are a lot less likely to troll a file if they don't see the file to begin with, because they've chosen not to see the file, and that's good for everyone. So let's keep it like that. Aside from that, another big point of contention is that we're really trying to focus on increasing the visibility of mods past the first week after they've been uploaded. So right now you've got a situation where you upload a file and it gets put into the new today list, and you get quite a lot of traffic from that, and then the next few days it shows on the recently added list, and that's really good. You get some exposure from that as well. And then maybe if you're really lucky and you get quite a few endorsements, you get put in the hot files and you get a lot of exposure from that. But once that initial 1 or 2 week period is over, the traffic begins to decline quite rapidly, and we want to try and come up with ways that mods are still accessible after the first 2 weeks of being uploaded. And we don't want it to become this system where literally the only files that are viewable are really the files that are in the top 100 or in the hot files or something like that, because it's not indicative of the quality of the mods that are on the site. So ways that we're thinking about increasing the visibility of files is, first of all, to focus on mod authors providing news updates for their mods. So if you're a mod author who regularly updates your files or has lots of ideas and likes to share them with people and allow people to comment on them, we're going to provide you an avenue for you to publish news about your mods. And it won't just show on your file pages and on your user pages, but it will go into sort of like a news feed, a bit like the front page of the Nexus right now, where people can view all the latest news that mod authors have put to do with their files. So that's one way that you're going to get increased visibility. The next will be to try and add some social networking aspects, but we're not trying to become like a Facebook. We don't want to become a Facebook. We don't want anything like that. But certain social network aspects of it, like if you really like someone, if you respect someone's views that you've seen comments from, or you think someone shares the same values as you or likes the same mods as you, then you can add them as a friend. They can agree, and then we'll have a sort of feed where you can see what your friends are doing, what your friends are liking, and that would be really handy, so you can see what other people that are like-minded to you are downloading and playing. And we might integrate that with NMM, the Nexus Mod Manager, if people set a proper privacy settings, so that people can see what mods you're playing and you can share that with other people. So that would be pretty cool. And in a similar vein, the tracking system, our mod tracking system, which is pretty weak right now, we're aware it's weak, but it has to be weak because while we're doing this feature, while we're in this feature lock, I can't update it. We're going to be updating that a lot and do a similar sort of feed that you'd sort of see on Facebook, where when a mod author updates their file or adds a new file, you can track a mod author as well. When they add a new file, you can see the files they've added and things like that. So you'll start seeing lots of feeds, and they'll be quite handy. So you can start breaking down the data a lot more. So it's a lot less about what's in the top 100 and a lot more in what you like on the sites, and who you like is going to affect what you see on the sites. You're still going to have all the same functionality you've got on the sites right now, but you're going to get a lot more as well. So don't worry about that. Another thing that we really want to try and push, it's probably come a little bit later rather than sooner, is the ability for you to create mod lists. Now, mod lists are something that go back all the way to like Morrowind. It's something that our admin Buddha was really like good at making lists of links for mods that work together, and mods that have been released and things like that. So what we want to try and do is make a system whereby you can flag either the mods that you're using, probably through Nexus Mod Manager, and add them to the site as a list. You're not uploading anything, so all the files are still, nothing's changing. You're not uploading someone else's files or anything like that, but you're uploading a list of files that you think work well together or that people are going to appreciate. And then we're hoping we're going to have like a button that you can click and it will load all the mods into the Nexus Mod Manager, but you'll have to do something about, you might be forced to read a README for each of the mods in the list or something like that, because I'm aware that mod authors are very much, they have enough problems with technical support without people reading the READMEs or the install instructions. So we're trying to think of a way of incorporating that without you just pressing a button, it downloads all the files and you're not really sure what it's going to do. But yeah, so a mod list system, you might have like your top 10 weapon mod lists that work together, or armor mod lists, or quests that work together, things like that, and then people can rate your lists and goodness knows what else. It's something that is very much in the design phase right now. We haven't, as you can tell, I'm not really sure everything that's going to be in it, but we're going to start nailing that down with the mod authors within the next few months and talk to the mod authors about what they'd like to see in such a system, because they're generally the ones that will be affected by it. So that would be pretty handy. And then lastly, one thing that has been requested quite a lot is sort of like the Amazon style of people who downloaded this file or people who endorsed this file also downloaded and endorsed this file. So it's a way of showing files that other people have, when you want a file and they've endorsed it, it shows you the other files that have been endorsed that have been like that file. It's just another way of increasing visibility. And we'll make the system in such a way that the mod authors can opt out of that system, but if they opt out of that system so that other mods aren't advertised on their own page, then their mod can't get advertised on other people's pages. So if you opt in, you're in the system and your page will get advertised and other mods will get advertised on your page, but if you opt out of the system, you're completely out, you're not in at all. So it's all about fairness, really. And lastly, the other big point of contention is the way we moderate. And it's something I've covered in the last blog a little bit, but basically speaking, the way we moderate is quite strict. It's very black and white. If you do something wrong, if you do something wrong on the Nexus sites themselves, you get banned. If you do something wrong on the forums, you tend to get a warning or two before you get banned. But it's extremely strict, and I'm aware of that, and that's how it's had to be for quite a while, because I haven't been able to code a proper moderation system. I haven't had the skills. It used too many resources. I've tried in the past, and it just brings the server to a crawl, and I can't do that. So now that I've got people who actually know what they're doing, we can work on a system that opens up the moderation system a little bit more. So we're going to change things so that we're going to start handing out warnings to people on the sites, but they're going to be extremely visible warnings. You're not going to be able to use the sites if you get a warning until you acknowledge you've received a warning, you understand why you got the warning, and that you essentially say you agree to the terms again, and that you don't have to apologise or anything, but you need to say you're not going to do it again. So it's almost like, imagine you get locked out of the site until you understand why you've got given a warning. You'll get given a dialogue showing you've got a warning, this is why you've got a warning, you need to make sure that you follow the rules, click agree, you agree, and then you're back on the site again, and that's fine. You might have something against your name, almost like a criminal record, but it'll be a lot better than the current black and white system of if you do something wrong you get banned, and if you're nice enough in your unban request, we might unban you. So we're going to change that around quite a lot. We're going to be looking at ways to make the moderation as we're not going to be changing our ethos at all, or our rules. Our rules aren't going to change, our ethos isn't going to change, but the way we moderate is going to change, and I'll be talking with the staff about that, and I'm pretty sure they'll be pretty happy with the tools that we make for that. So it is an area that we have received quite a lot of stick with in the past. Generally speaking, we've got, I think it's about 12 or 13 moderators now, people who can moderate, and we get about 7,000 to 8,000, well, about 7,000 to 10,000, 10,000 a weekend, 7,000 on the weekday, new registrations every day. So we've got 3.3 million, I think it is, members, going up by 7,000 to 10,000 a day. Statistically, if we just go by statistics alone, you know, if even 1% of the people who sign up are utter idiot retard trolls, then that's what? How let me try my maths. 70 people a day sign up who are trolls. That's just what, if only 1% of people who sign up are trolls, or people who don't understand rules, or people who act like they're still on 4chan or something awful, then that's still 70 people that need to get moderated every single day. And so that's quite a lot. So that's why the rules have been the way they are. And that's why we're so strict, because we don't have the time to rehabilitate 70 people every day. It's just not, it isn't feasible, and I'd rather have 12 or 13 staff members that I trust and know and like and know that they're going to do a good job than have 100 staff members who are completely clueless, because then that it fosters even more senses of power abuse and goodness knows what else. So I'll stick to keeping staff that I like and know, and we're going to try and change the system so that it is a bit, I wouldn't say fairer, because fair to me is reading the rules and not breaking them. If you break the rule you get banned, but we're going to try and make it a little bit easier for people to get used to our way of thinking basically on the sites, or at least learning how to interact on the sites without getting banned. So those are the three main points of contention. There's a few other features that we've got plans. One big one is the file uploading system is going to get a complete overhaul. I know I said I wasn't going to compare, this is slightly different. One difference between Steam Workshop and the Nexus is the fact that with Steam Workshop you can only upload a single file, whereas with the Nexus you can upload multiple files. You can upload a main file, optional files, updates, everything in between, and keep a backlog of your changes and things like that. That's something we're not going to change, but it has presented problems, because the reason why the Steam Workshop system update works, where you subscribe to it and it updates it whenever the mod author updates it, is because there's only one file. So when the mod author updates the file, it updates the original, you download the update, all done. But because we've gone for a much more flexible system of allowing mod authors to upload different files, it's not as simple for us. You can't do that. It just doesn't work like that. So we're going to try and update the system so that it is still just as flexible and useful, but it works well with things like integrating with Nexus Mod Manager, so we can start getting updates through Nexus Mod Manager, and that's something that we will be working on and getting into the system relatively soon. Not in the very near future, not within the next 1 or 2 months, but within the next 6 months. I hope that will be done. So yeah, that will be really good. And the last one really is just focusing on Nexus Mod Manager really. The development has been has slowed down a little bit. A lot of work has been put onto Quebec, who is the sole program at the moment. After I've done this video, I'm actually going to be putting up a news post asking, I'm just going to get another full-time programmer in basically. Quebec doesn't work full-time, I should actually clarify. But I want to get a full-time C# .NET programmer to work on Nexus Mod Manager. It's going to take some money out of the new server funds, which I'm saving up for, but I think it's going to be worthwhile, because Nexus Mod Manager is something that has a lot of potential, but there's so much to do and so little time and so little work time we have to devote to it, that we need to be devoting more time to it, and I'm aware of that. So we're going to be getting someone in, someone dedicated to just working on Nexus Mod Manager and integrating it with the sites and making it as good as possible. So those are the only things I'm really going to share with you right now as far as new features. There's a lot more planned. And once this, as I said, once this 10-month project of recoding everything has been done, I'll be talking to you a lot more about things that you want to see on the sites, things that bother you, things you think that can be improved, things that make your experience worse, things that make your experience better. We'll be talking about all of that, and you can air your views. Just try and air them in a less confrontational, dickish way. I'm not a PR person, and you can tell from the way I talk. I don't do PR. I talk as though I'm your equal. I don't act like I'm above you. I don't act like anything like that. So if you come to me and act like a dick and demand things, I will treat you like a dick, and I'll act like a dick as well. But if you come to me and be friendly and say, look, I'm having some problems with this and I think this would really improve it, I will respond in kind. It's the way I've always dealt with things, emails, private messages. I will always respond in kind. So if people are friendly and nice, I'll be friendly and nice back. If you act like I owe you something, I will not treat you like you probably think you deserve. I don't treat you as my customers. You're not a customer. You're a visitor to my site, a visitor to the Nexus sites, and that's how I treat everyone. So as long as you're aware of that, it saves a lot of hassle later on, because I'm more than happy to help people out, but only if they're actually worth helping out. if that's the best way to put it. So that's basically everything I wanted to cover. I've actually just checked the time and I've spoken for 31 minutes without even meaning to. So I'm going to cut this really short and not go on anymore. But once this 10-month project has been finished, I'll probably do another video blog, and we can I'll talk a bit more about what this means for us. But right now, I think I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover. We're still here, we're still really happy, I'm really happy. I'm working my fucking ass off right now on Nexus side of things, a lot more than I wish I was, but I am doing a lot, so there is a lot going on. You don't need to worry about us. So, and that's actually probably should be the theme of this video. You don't need to worry about us, because we're still here, and we will still be here. So leave any comments you can, and I'll hopefully be doing another one in about a month's time, hopefully when everything's been done. See you soon.